All right. We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here on the GSMC Sports Network on YouTube. Just here to talk about everything professional wrestling, all the news, all the tea, what these young kids like to say. Honestly, me saying that right now, I feel a little, I feel like it just didn't mesh. Didn't really match. I'm just kidding. No, but if you want to find out absolutely anything about wrestling, if you're a new wrestling fan and you stumbled upon this podcast, thank God for the GSMC Sports Network, and thank God for YouTube for helping us putting our brand out there and giving the viewers like quality podcasts that talk about the one thing that we all share in common: the love for sports, and in case for this show, the love for professional wrestling. So let's kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our WWE NXT Great American Bash review, and now we're going to get on into our AEW Dynamite preview. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Shoot me your comments, questions, and concerns. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. We get a number of questions from viewers like you. So, to get your comment at the top of the list, make sure you hit up that tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. I highly, appreciate absolutely anything you guys decide to give. But most importantly, I just want to hear you guys' voice. I just want to hear what you guys have to say in terms of the storylines, rumors, what you guys, give me some of your opinions about some things that happened on WWE NXT. Give me some of your feelings about, who do you think is, the top babyface turn in wrestling history? Yeah, just have a little fun with it. Have a little fun with it 1,010%. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Also follow the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. Also follow the GSMC Sports Network for free sports contact. Like I mentioned before, 1,010% free. Guarantee you'll watch one of these shows and you'll fall in absolute love with with all these podcasters we have here. 1,010%. You have the Eric Rodriguez guarantee. So once again, at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. So remember to leave a kind, positive. I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, well, we prefer it. Obviously, I do. Criticism, feedback is a gift. Is a giant gift from mankind. So obviously helps me get better as a podcaster. This is our podcast, not just my podcast. So be a part of the show. Hit up the chat. Hit up the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. All right, so it's Wednesday. You know what that means. AEW Dynamite is coming live to Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I got to be honest, when I think it's Salem, I think of Salem, Massachusetts. I don't know if any of you guys, during high school had to read The Crucible with like the Salem witch and the witch trials and stuff like that. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff, just makes me, second guess, the wits of mankind. I'm just kidding. No, just kidding. No, but, it's, it happened back in the day, obviously we have, we've grown from that. So, that's cool. Right? We've grown together. First, we have Mariah May taking on Viva Van. Mariah May debuted her ruthless persona alter ego on AEW Dynamite last week. We have the Glamour. The Glamour is live tonight, and she's going to be, you betcha, she's going to be aiding to this feud with the timeless Toni Storm. And the way that AEW is doing it right now, I think 1,010%. I think it's great. I think it's great what they're doing right now. It's going to be a match. I feel like if Toni Storm wins this match at All-In, obviously she won the title, but I like Toni Storm. And I think the way she is on the mic, I think the way she performs in her matches, I think she represents the AEW women's division really, really well. It'd be kind of like the flavor of the week winning if Mariah May would win. Because right now she's the top. She's the talk of the town. She's hot. Because what she did the timeless Toni Storm when she won the Owen Hart Cup tournament. The high heel to the face, blood gushing out of the timeless Toni Storm's head. It was pretty graphic and it was pretty crazy. Can Viva Van show the world that this new glamour of Mariah May, she has weaknesses, help Toni Storm retain her championship. Should be pretty interesting. All right. Next, we have Bryan Keith, the bad apple of The Learning Tree is taking on Katsuyori Shibata tonight on AEW Dynamite. Last week, you saw Katsuyori Shibata returned to Dynamite at Blood and Guts to help out, Minoru Suzuki, who was getting beat down by Chris Jericho, Big Bill, and the Bad Apple, Brian Keith. AEW announced that Shibata will collide with Keith in singles competitions. This is Keith's first match on AEW Dynamite since May 22nd. I know he has been dealing with an injury, that started the whole, Minoru Suzuki and Chris Jericho kind of feud there. But all in all, this learning tree thing, we're gonna get into it a little later. I I just don't think right now it's working. I don't think it's working right now for AEW. Right now, you kind of have a couple of factions on AEW where you kind of turn your head. You're like, dude, what do you got? What is this? What's going to happen from this? What's going to stem from this? How is this benefiting the company? Is this something that Tony Khan has to address? Is this something that has to change, especially when you got a new deal with Warner Brothers? They had a trip to Paris, and I guess according to Tony Khan, it was delightful, absolutely delightful. Have so much success in the future with these television deals and streaming deals as well. And they're on the right track. AEW is only 5 years old. A lot of people hate AEW. I still get crap online. I got to be honest. People's first thing is to, kind of shoot down AEW, but I'm like, you know what? From what it's worth, like I think it started off really, really well. But of course, when you have superstars like Cody Rhodes, Jade Cargill, you also have CM Punk, and they all left AEW, and you have more people leaving AEW, and it's just I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to be a wrestling promotion, and by all means, never ever ever like compare yourself to WWE because WWE's been around for decades. Not really. I don't think they're really. It's not really fathomable, or they're kind of untouchable right now. So tonight we have the Bad Apple Brian Keith taking on Katsuyori Shibata. Next, we have Bryan Danielson taking on Jeff Jarrett in an anything goes match. Jeff Jarrett has been trying to put Daniel Bryan into the right mindset heading toward his career, which kind of pushed Bryan Danielson to talk to Swerve Strickland and be like, if I do not win this AEW World Heavyweight Championship, I am going to leave AEW and never wrestle again. And just just a little sprinkle on top, Ricky Steamboat is going to be the special guest referee. After that promo last week on Dynamite, you had Bryan Danielson walking the back. Jeff Jarrett was excited and said, "Way to go, all in, brother," kind of thing. And then he challenged him, the American Dragon, looked him dead in the eye. He said, "I challenge you next week on Dynamite." It's the first ever match between the two. Double J, obviously, he's still very gifted. He's a great superstar. I think there's a little bit of animosity that he really wanted to win the Owen Hart Cup the tournament for his partner. He was supposed to attack team with the Blue Blazer that night when Owen Hart passed away. But obviously, that never really came in fruition because of the tragic disaster that happened during the entrance and stuff like that. So that was a lot of things on Double J's mind. Double J kind of showing a little bit like a baby face. I thought he was part of the Don Callis family. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Or maybe like an ally or something. But yeah, tonight we have the American Dragon taking on Jeff Jarrett. And finally, in the main event, we have MJF taking on Kyle Fletcher, an AEW American title eliminator. MJF rebranded the AEW International Championship, the American Championship previously on Dynamite. Will Ospreay stood up for it, said that you don't represent the American people. A lot of people online were kind of confused that, you had the Brit come in and want to represent the United States or something like that. Honestly, I think people just think way too much into it. I was like, dude, like, it's just for the title. Like, he's, that's just a wrestling promo. So then you had Then you have what did MJF call him? Kyle Fletcher? He called him the wannabe Will Ospreay. I got to be honest, that was funny as hell. I started laughing. I was like, dude, because dude kind of look alike. Dude kind of mimic each other's style. Both were part of the Don Callis family. Don Callis was not happy with Kyle Fletcher wanting to, back up Will Ospreay, who wanted out of the Don Callis family. But I think it's all going to come into play tonight on Dynamite. I don't know. MJF's going to win. I kind of think that the night's going to end with MJF brutalizing Kyle Fletcher, but then you're going to have Will Ospreay come out, and I don't know who would help MJF with Will Ospreay, but more like kind of like what he did to Daniel Garcia could possibly be in the books for tonight. Obviously, yeah, a pretty awesome show heading for tonight. Tony Khan basically said that tonight's show is basically traveling mayhem, which is kind of cool. I like that. But yeah, honestly, that was our AEW Dynamite preview. Make sure you watch it tonight on TNT. It's going to be dope. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, well, guys, stay tuned. We're going to talk about my best WWE babyface. People turning babyface. Recently you saw on WWE SummerSlam, you saw Roman Reigns come back and effortlessly became a babyface just because of the storytelling of WWE, the new bloodline, and the Cody Rhodes story. Because when he lost to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam 40, he was, everybody was happy. Everybody was so happy that he lost the championship. And WWE was able to get people to miss Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns the WWE has wanted Roman Reigns to be their top babyface guy for the longest time, and it was so unsuccessful. But now it's successful. So, we're going to talk about my best WWE babyfaces when we come back. So, hey, make sure you grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite drink, and join me here in approximately maybe like 20, 24 seconds.